Torrential rain in Auckland last night brought flash flooding in parts of the city, particularly in the south. Rama farmer Cameron Vernon was on his way to check his business late this morning when he came to the rescue of 9 cars that were basically in real trouble from flash flooding, plus a postal van which had become trapped in rising waters. He spoke to our reporter Zach Fleming.
Just been doing some stuff in the yard here and just going between here and the family farm and just checking on a few other things, and as we do when the flooding happens, you just check on your neighbours, and then saw a few people in a little bit of distress and stuff and had the trailer, so just started helping people out, and that's basically it.
What kind of distress?
Oh, just, there was a house next to the Olsen family, and that the owner of the property, I think, was away or something like that. They had a couple of cars that were parked outside on the grass and, quite low in the water. So, we just went in there and got into the house, got the keys and pulled the cars out before the flood water came up. And then by the time we got them out of there, the water had risen, a couple of hundred. So, yeah.
And then you found a couple of people stuck in their cars as well?
No, there's just all sorts of stuff. People who tried to go through the floodwater when they shouldn't have and just got a bit stuck, so we just towed them out. And there's other people who've been visiting friends and stuff on Peach Hill Road and that, so we just put them on the car trailer and just towed them through the water to get them other side safely. And and then my brother gave me a call about the old postie on Maxted Road who was a bit stuck, so went through the water, and that was probably actually the worst part of the day. That was the highest point.
That's Cameron Vernon speaking to Zach Fleming. Funeral director Rion Shavi works at a parlour at the end of Franklin Road in Pukekohe that's coincidentally called Waters Funerals. A small stream around 50 metres away at the back of the property swelled by several metres, lapping at the business's door. Thankfully, it started subsiding this afternoon. Zach Fleming spoke to him a short time ago.
Probably about quarter to what we've got running at the moment is a flood that we can cope with here. But this, it was touching the building. And we're starting to get concerned as the floodwaters were coming forward.
Whereabouts was it up to?
We were just up to the corner of the building, so probably about 300 mil from the ground up on the building that the water was.
Were we starting to get worried?
We were starting to get worried, yes. We'd make provisions for sandbags and such to come in and help us out with it.
Yeah, but you've got lucky it started to recede a little bit. But how deep do you think it is?
I think at the deepest, I think you're probably looking about 3 metres, 3.5 metres.
The rain is expected to keep coming. I know it's stopped at the moment, but is that worrying for you?
Yeah, we've got guys on standby tonight with our sandbags, so we've made provisions to, if anything should happen overnight, to protect the building.
As far as you're aware, this is the worst it's ever been out here?
The worst I've seen it. I'm a local here, been here all my life and never seen it this bad.
That's funeral director Rion Shavi. Up the motorway in the suburb of Remuera, an elderly resident says continued flooding is driving her out of her home. Banu Prasad's property has been flooded 6 times since her daughter found a hole near a council stormwater drain in the backyard last November. Lots of scrutiny of Auckland's wastewater infrastructure and stormwater infrastructure. Angela Prasad says it's all become too much for her mum, 80 years old.
She's now decided to sell this place. This has driven her to... So we're going to try and sell this house now. It's too much now to cope for one person, and she does live here on her own. So I think it is just too big of a burden now. Because my father passed away. If he was alive, it'd be different. And my sister passed away last year. She used to live with mum and look after mum, so she's gone. So it's too much for my family now. I realise now that the basement, when it flooded 2 weeks ago, it was just stinky, the water. But actually that is coming from an overflow of the sewage manhole, which is just outside my mum's property. So that stink was that. So that is absolutely horrible to have to deal with when you're actually cleaning.
Their 6th flood since November. Angela Prasad speaking with our reporter Jessie Chang this afternoon. We were at Wellington Airport earlier in the program, live with our reporter Michael Kropp. Of course, it's rain and flooding in Auckland, and it is fog in Wellington, and there are no flights out of Wellington